Boxing King Media, powered by BYD. Mr. David Higgins out here in Australia. I've met you all over the world, but first time close to home for you.
Yeah, just 3 hours across the Tasman. You can't swim it, but it's close enough.
Yeah, somebody would tell me the other day, I didn't even realise this, considering how close New Zealand is, it's like another 3 hours forward when you fly across there from Australia.
Yeah, people think it's like New Zealand's an island and off the coast of Australia, but it is a 3 hour flight. So it's like going from probably London to Spain, the south of Spain, yeah.
You're part of Team Nyika, a big fight for him. We've just seen the face-off, seemed to get a bit feisty in there. Did you expect that? I think Jai was saying that he feels like maybe, he's kind of like telling himself to do it type of thing.
Yeah, it was more fiery than I expected. It was a proper face-off, and there was some nervous energy there. I personally thought Jai showed more nervous energy than David. Jai looked almost a bit angry and tense. I thought David was a bit more relaxed. But certainly they're both here to have a fight and tomorrow, so let's see.
Nobody can doubt both men's amateur credentials, especially David's, but how much of that is going to help him in this fight against a guy that's seen as a formidable force in boxing?
Yeah, Jai's probably one of the best in the world, pound for pound, going round at the moment. He's got a lot of heart, a lot of mongrel. He's been in proper scraps at the highest professional level. So that's an advantage for Jai, that depth of experience. But then again, I think a lot of people are writing David Nyika off, wrongly so. I mean, there's David, he's not young, he is nearly 30, he's mature, he's hungry. I mean, he's dreamt of this opportunity his whole life. In sparring, they're pretty even. I've seen footage of them sparring in the gym, and so David won't be overawed about going in with Jai. He's sparred him a lot and sometimes holds his own. And also, he's got the height, the reach, and he's just very skillful. So I think the betting agencies have it a bit wrong. It's a closer fight than what people are giving it credit for.
I picked up there that you said you watched some of the sparring, so I've got to ask you, like, from what you saw in the sparring, how much confidence does it give you that David will pull this off?
Well, in the cricket nets, I batted like Brian Lara, but then when I was out on the pitch, I was shit. So, based on sparring, it's a 50-50 fight. But it's just whether on the big stage and the world title occasion, David can bring the same that he does in the sparring. So it's actually hard to say. But again, I think it's a lot closer fight than people give it credit for, especially if it gets out of the early rounds. David is technically brilliant, precision, and he could outbox Jai and win the fight.
Interesting that. And what do you make of just Tasman fighters and just this event as a whole, working with Gold Star Matchroom, big things for Down Under?
Boxing promotion is very difficult. And if young people come to me and say, hey, I want to be a boxing promoter, I say, you may as well go bang your head against a brick wall and piss money away. Like, it's hard to make it work. And so I give credit to any promoter that pulls together a world title fight, especially in their hometown, and everything that goes with it. It's not easy. And so, credits to Tasman Fighters and Mick and all the sponsors. I think Saudi, Turkey Al Sheikh, Eddie Hearn, Spencer Jones, everyone that's sort of pulled together to make it happen. It's good for the sport, and it's good to have big time world title boxing here in Gold Coast.
It definitely is. You just mentioned Riyadh season. I've got to ask you, you will have seen the Tyson Fury Usyk fight. How did you score it?
I think it was a very close fight, but I think Usyk probably won by a whisker. So I don't think it was an outrageous controversy. I can see how Tyson might have felt a bit robbed, but in heavyweight boxing, judges tend to favour the champion if it's a close fight, and Usyk was the reigning champion, and even at a 50-50, they probably sided with Usyk by a whisker, and so I don't think it was a controversy. It'll be interesting to see what Tyson does next. I think if he fought Anthony Joshua, it sells out Wembley and it's probably the biggest fight of the year.
And with regards to Joseph Parker, he's taking on Daniel Dubois. You obviously worked a lot with Joseph over the years, so I've got to ask you, how much of a chance are you giving Joseph Parker against Daniel Dubois?
I think Joseph will beat Daniel Dubois and become a two-time world champion. And I think no disrespect to Anthony Joshua, like he did amazing things, but he didn't really want to be in that ring with Daniel Dubois, mentally a bit shot. And I think Anthony Joshua made Dubois look way better than he is. And I think the Dubois camp are feeling unbeatable. I think they genuinely don't give Joseph Parker a chance. Frank Warren and Dubois and the team there think he's going to punch holes in Joseph Parker. That suits us quite fine. We've been the underdog every fight. They expected us to lose against Wilder. Joseph totally outclassed Wilder. Expected us to lose against Zhang. Joseph outclassed Zhang, won nearly every round. So coming in as an underdog against Dubois, who's coming off an easy win against Anthony Joshua, is not a problem for Joseph Parker.
It's interesting you saying that, but I think to my knowledge, both men have won 3 fights back to back, all as underdogs.
True, and they both got that momentum. So it's actually a bloody good heavyweight boxing matchup, because you got two guys who are in their prime, steaming in off 3 wins with momentum, who are arguably coming into their best. So it's a very good fight. Don't get me wrong, it's a close fight, and if you know, it could go either way, but I'll back Joseph Parker on that one.
My first experience of down under, absolutely loving Australia. Never been to New Zealand. Give me one reason why I should go to Australia, New Zealand as well.
Well, the people have higher IQs in Australia. And there's no snakes and lizards, and there's less venomous creatures that will attack you in New Zealand. You know, before the Europeans settled New Zealand, there were only birds, no animals. So if you come to New Zealand, there'll be one extra animal in New Zealand.
I was expecting kangaroos like running around in the roads. I ain't seen one yet.
No, they are here if you venture into the desert, but not here in the Gold Coast.
Wicked. Brilliant. David, always a pleasure speaking to you, and all the best to your guy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
One, two, let's go. Hey.